Hey everybody, welcome to the Good Evening Kitties podcast, a Tales from the Crypt review. My name is Melissa, your ghostess with the mostest, and today's episode is Season 5, Episode 4, Food for Thought. Today I have special guest host Cheresa back. Hi Cheresa.
Hi Melissa.
How's it going?
Oh, you know, it's a Sunday.
This is a fun episode. It's a weird episode.
Awkward.
Yeah,
is the word.
As always, John Kassir does the voice of the Crypt Keeper and Danny Elfman does the theme song. This episode aired October 6th, 1993. It was directed by Rodman Flinder, who also directed movies like Leprechaun 2. The screenplay was by Larry Wilson, and it stars Ernie Hudson from movies like Ghostbusters, Joan Chen from TV's Twin Peaks, John Laughlin from movies like The Rock, Phil Fondacaro from movies like Ghoulies 2, and many others. He's in a lot of movies.
Yeah, a lot.
And then the Siamese twins, Catherine Howell and Margaret Howell. Catherine's from movies like The Zodiac, and Margaret's from movies like Tightrope. Cheresa said she noticed Doug Jones is in this episode. Now I'm interested as we play it in the background here to find him.
He's the contortionist.
Of course he is. I mean, he's awesome. I mean, but what better way to use the gifts of how movable your body is to be like, you know, like I do always like that in like horror movies. I like creature features and stuff, and so when you find someone who is real bendy or something and they use that,
they can properly bring to life your idea of how these monsters should move.
Yeah.
And very creepily, in fact.
Well, like, it wasn't Doug Jones who did this one, I don't think. But have you seen Silent Hill?
Yeah.
Okay, you know the creature in the bathroom that came off the toilet?
Yes. I saw the special features on that
thing
one.
was freaky.
It was. And that guy, I think he also did the Pyramid Head.
Okay, yeah.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
That, and he may have even did the one that spit the acid in the beginning, the one with the...
I think, yeah.
Though some of that might have been CGI, a little.
No, that one, they just, like, bound him, like, in a
straitjacket
type thing.
Yeah, because I thought about...
The Grey Children was creepy.
Yeah.
That one freaked me out.
Yeah, they were alright. But I've always wanted to be Pyramid Head for Halloween. I just never got around to doing it. I did see a costume a woman did to do, like, a lady Pyramid Head that was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't, like, super feminine, but I mean, like, she had it built a little more to where it was, like, it's not like she had heels or anything.
Yeah.
But I also considered doing the acid spitter, and I thought about, like, if you get, like, a sweatshirt and you tie your hands behind your back and you can stick your hands in and have, like, a squirter thing, and then...
That would be really cool, but then I think you would have to have your arms more behind you rather than just kind of tied behind you.
Well, you could tie...
keep the line.
But you could tie, like, the black sweatshirt and stick your hands inside to where you have the squirter, and then you put the hood over and, like, close it.
Oh,
and then you
could
could walk.
Would be,
It'd be kind of cool. They're neat characters. I love that movie. I love Silent Hill.
They put a lot of thought into it. As much people gave it shit for not, following the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for all the games.
Yeah.
It was interesting in its own right.
Yeah, and then if you go back and, like, I've gone through and looked through, like, the lore of the movie and just, like, the backstories for all the characters and the way that they correlate with this girl's pain and everything that happened to her and things like that. It's kind of crazy. If you haven't seen Silent Hill, check it out. And if you don't like it, then that's okay. That's fine, because I still love it. So
everybody has their preferences. Mine is supernatural horror.
Yeah.
And I know yours is creature features?
I do like creature features. I do like psychological. I like, I love end of the world stuff.
Not really my thing.
See, Epidemic, Contagious, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna die. Like, that stuff kind of... Even the other day, I was having a tough day at work, and I got home, and I was like, I just want to throw something on that I can just mindlessly have in the background. And I threw on the Crazies about people getting, like, contaminated from this government thing and just killing people with pitchforks.
See, my throw on in the background is always Stephen King. God, that really narrows it down.
Yep. Is it Christine?
Rose Red.
Oh, Rose Red.
I love Rose Red.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just really long. It's on 2 DVDs.
So. A lot of them are.
Yeah. But I love that one.
I have to check
of course,
that one out.
not the beginning. I skip. When they actually get to the house, that's the good stuff.
Okay. How long does it take them to get to the house?
Halfway through the first DVD.
All right. All right, well, I'll have to check that out. So, back to Season 5, Episode 4, Food for Thought. I'm going to go ahead here and read the information on the back of the box about this episode. A domineering carny mind reader can taste his lovely assistant's thought. Didn't know they were going to say that. Hang on a second. I got to say that again. We'll get to why that's squeamy. A domineering carny mind reader can taste his lovely assistant's thoughts, but he'll have death for dessert. Ooh. And we're back at the carnival, which is always fun. Usually, I think almost every season usually has a carnival episode. They try to go there. Like first season was Dig That Cat. Second season was Lower Berth.
I remember Lower Berth.
I know I'm missing something. I know they go back, I think, again, too. I like a carnival. I like a freak show.
I do. When they were going through the shot where, it's all these different people, it's pretty stereotypical. It's nothing too interesting. Well, I would like a little something extra.
Like a turtle boy or something.
I don't know. Something different you've never seen before. What's the point of going to a freak show otherwise?
True. I don't know. I went to one recently.
Oh, that's right. You did go there.
And it was a bit of a letdown.
Oh, really? Just the normal stuff?
It was more the way that they set it up. Their practice of how they did the show wasn't super great. They did have some really good stuff. There was a fire breather that was amazing. Like, she did some really cool stuff.
I've never actually seen a fire breather live.
Yeah, it was
Unless
cool.
It's been at one of the many Ren fairs we've been to. But I don't remember.
This one, she was more on a stage and they shut, like, the lights off and stuff. So it was, like, real, like, vibrant. It was cool.
So you could see everything.
Yeah.
I guess the best that I've ever... the only one that I can think of seeing is Mad Boy Koi. Does that remember? You've been to the Ren Fair too?
I don't know people's names.
He's the one who also did the contortionist. He did, like, the balancing. The short one that had the big gauges.
I don't know. I might know him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just remember the one guy with all the belly dancers who did the stick flame thing.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was kind of... Yeah, he was a bit of a cutie.
Way too young for me.
He was a bit young.
A little too young.
So this episode opens up. The Crypt Keeper is a dentist. He has a patient tied down with his jaw strapped down, which is a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, we were just talking about getting dental stuff done, and it's the cringiest thing for me.
Getting teeth work. I mean, I'm so glad that there is, like, when I had mine done recently, I didn't feel pain. I'm glad about that, because a long time ago I'd been like, you know what, I guess I'm just stuck with this crap tooth or whatever. I don't know. So the episode's opening, you got Phil Fondacaro. He's playing a little accordion, and they're just bringing in the credits. They're showing the gorilla. Her name is Nabonga. Is that what it was? Yeah, Nabonga. So they got that. They got just all the little oddities and things of people. You got the dancers. They're topless. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either.
They're topless. You got the clowns. You got the strong man because he's got that mustache. Usually that's what that means. I mean, they're really hitting all of it.
Yeah.
And I always like, too, like, I love the old, the old trailers and stuff that they all live in. The little cabooses and things that they always hook together. I think they're really neat. I mean, maybe this isn't in the 90s. They look at least a little older.
Yeah, everything is pretty older style. Like, I was thinking maybe 40s,
yeah,
50s.
That's true. Maybe it isn't the 90s. But I always love these things. Like, have you, like in the show Carnival, they had those a lot where they're, like, real jeweled and decorated things that they lived in.
So a very popular carnival, though.
Yes. Yeah, this one's a little more shabby looking. So it's cutting to Joan Chin, and she's playing a character named Connie. And Connie is married to the guy Zambini, played by Ernie Hudson, and he's like a telepath or like a mind reader kind of thing.
Mind reader, but he also has the ability to control people. Psychokinesis, but I don't know that that's exactly the same.
But I don't think he can really, like, make her. It's not like Carrie, where he can, like...
force her.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty close.
But he's pretty manipulative, and they're married, and she's in her trailer, and Joan Chin played Josie in Twin Peaks, and she's so good at looking forlorn and sad and miserable all the time, and like a delicate flower. She just...
Grade A.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And they're hanging out in their old little house on wheels. And this guy likes to be a huge chef, considering they're in this tiny little place. He's got, like, raw meat and all kinds of stuff he's just cutting up. Ernie Hudson is definitely different in this than he was in Ghostbusters. Making his food up, and she's like, you're so obsessed with food all the time. And his face makeup is something else.
Definitely. It's not as stylized as I would like, but, I mean, she explains later on why he does it.
I mean, right now it looks pretty bad, like he looks like he's melting, like he's had a rough day, but he's also been over a flaming hot cast iron pan or whatever, so maybe it's melting. But it's just like, the bottom half is all red, and then his nose and his eyes are white, and then he's got like almost looks like raccoon kind of butterfly kind of things around his eyes.
Looks like spectacles, like giant spectacles with gold lenses.
With gold inside, yeah. And he's very angry in this one, and everything is about food. Like, he's even saying that he wants... her mind is the morsel he craves, and he gets real gross with all of it. At one point, he's like forcing her. Yeah, he's looking really rough.
I'm assuming it's been a very long day.
And she's just like, she can't even, she's just fanning herself in her nightgown and her kimono. She's like, I just can't.
She's so tired of him.
He wants her to learn how to send her thoughts to him, like, because they're an act together. Mm-hmm. So they do an act to where, like, you know, they'll send thoughts and she can look at something, which they'll show later. She can look at something that someone has and send it to him, and he'll be like, oh, I know, you know, what Bible passage that is or whatever, you know, and people are like...
he's the one who sends it to her.
He sends it to her?
Yeah, he forces it into her mind, and then she verbalizes it because she's blindfolded.
That's right. Okay, yeah, that's why he's... Okay, my bad. That's why he's so into her trying to send it back.
Yeah. Because I think he'd like to do it both ways.
And she just can't.
No.
And it's hurting her head.
This is not, you know, her ability. It's his. I don't know why he expects her to be able to do it as well.
In a way, he says, like, he saved her, like, maybe she didn't know how, because she could actually accept his thoughts. I don't think a lot of people can. So the fact that he found someone who could read back with how he was sending thoughts, and his powers played into her powers in a way of being able to receive those thoughts.
Yeah.
So then they got it to be able to work out this act together.
Yeah.
But
receiver, not broadcaster, though.
Yeah. She's like, I can only do so much. And he's just eating and drinking brandy, with like pouring the brandy on the chicken or the pork or whatever he's eating with his hands. He's just real sloppy. And as you find out, like, with the brandy and stuff, he has an alcohol problem. That's part of some of this, of why he does what he does. And so after he's not even done eating his food yet, he's still like, ha, 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 it's in his mouth. He says he would like his special dessert, his very special dessert.
Honey, you gotta teach me how to read your mind. You hear me?
I can't. I don't know how to send you my thoughts.
No, you know how to. Problem is, you just don't want to. Remember how it was when I found you? Living in the middle of nowhere, poor, pathetic.
And this is better.
A lot, you know it. It's good. Could use a bit more brandy, yes. My mother, she used to make a roast pig that tasted like this. I still dream of it. Yeah. Oh, but you can't leave now. Zambini wants his dessert. His very special dessert. The kind that only Connie can give.
Both of us, it gave us cringes.
Yeah. The entire scene is awkward. Very well done.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so awkward.
She's trapped in this relationship and he's just gross. And basically special dessert, of course, is sex.
Yeah.
He's literally mind-fucking her, is what he's doing. And I watched this separately from Cheresa, and even I was like, did you get a weird feeling when he said that? And she was like, yeah, I did. I was like, okay, we're on the same page then, because it was very uncomfortable.
Cringing the entire time, just, I don't know about this.
And she's just like, not tonight. And he's like, yeah, every night. But this whole time while he's licking the plate all nasty, he's like licking the plate, but he's talking to her in his mind the whole time. He's all like, you can't deny me. I'm all touching you and stuff. She doesn't look like she likes it. But he's just saying what he's doing to her, and it's like she can feel it. It gets really, really messed up.
But in the end, she gives in, and I think that's... I think it's because he is actually controlling her rather than just...
Well, I mean, I guess because she can feel some of it, too. So, I mean, there is a way to pass on those thoughts. Yeah, I guess you could say he is kind of forcing her. She looks like she doesn't want to, but she's coming back towards him to give the extra special dessert for Zambini. And she looks so sad. Just so defeated. And then the problem is the special dessert, isn't it like she's gonna...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not even like he wants her. He wants her more to perform the sexual act on him.
Right.
They're showing that for like a second, and he reaches over because he's just a decadent little shit, and he's eating a box of chocolates all nasty while she's doing this to him.
Not even paying her a bit of attention.
No, doesn't even care. And then it cuts to their act.
Just straight.
Now he's got his actual, like, kind of little wig on and his clothes. Yeah, I guess it is like the 40s if you talk about people's outfits. What was I thinking? What's nice, though, is at least this is a mind reader that actually has the ability. It's not actually a trick.
Yeah.
So he really can do it.
Like, when she goes to leave, they're like, oh, really good job there. She's like, yeah. But he was really doing it. And they're like, oh, sure.
Well, it's because as a carnival worker, a lot of it's not.
Yeah.
Her outfit's cool, though. I like her dress, and then she's got, like, this weird chandelier thing on her head.
Honestly, it looks kind of like a lampshade or a chandelier that has been made into a headdress.
Yeah. I mean, she's pretty, though. I always like... I mean, she's, like... I just wish she could play someone that was maybe happy sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, she's been in a lot of things.
Yeah. I just always know her as Josie.
Yeah, she's so sad.
Yeah.
Always so sad.
She just can never get the love she wants, and even in this episode, which we will find out here. And so yeah, you're right. Okay, so she's blindfolded, and he goes around looking at things and telling her what he sees. And sometimes some of it's kind of a joke to kind of build it up, to embarrass them. That guy looks pretty embarrassed. So yeah, and while he's saying that, he had like a Bible in his coat pocket, right? That's what the book he has?
Yes.
Yeah. And then he like reads a passage and she can see it and things like that. You know, it's pretty decent act, you know, considering. I think it would be better if they had her turn around. Yeah. Because then it almost makes it look like she could look through the blindfold.
Although, as tiny as a book as that was, and to see the tiny print not facing her, but at least.
Yeah, but at the point, that was impressive. Stuff. That was impressive that she could know the Bible verse. They kind of pull forward, and it's the Siamese twins, and they're in a ridiculous dress. Just like pink polka dots, and they're both smoking. And that's played by Catherine and Margaret Howell. And they're playing cards with Phil Fondacaro, who also has face paint on.
Which, of course, you know, he's antagonizing Nabunga.
Yes. Which you don't want to do. I mean, first of all, she's in a small cage. She is a big gorilla. Yeah. She's a big girl. She's in this cage with all this hay, and he's like chucking peanuts at her. And then she's all sad, and it's like, well, yeah, because she's in this cage. That's the other thing about carnivals I thought. She got cool hair, though. Another thing about carnivals I thought was...
like rocker hair.
Yeah, but what I think is cool is it had to be complicated, but besides traveling by train and everything, you have all these animals you're taking with you. Yeah. That you have to take care of them on the fly. To feed them and to put them on these carts, and then it just seems like as an animal caretaker, if you were on there, stressful as crap. To be like, oh, this elephant's gonna die. There goes our act.
Well, maybe you should have taken care of it better.
Well, maybe you shouldn't put it on a train.
Exactly. No, I'm just thinking of Dumbo. That's so sad.
Oh my gosh, I can't even with Dumbo. I can't. I didn't even... Did you watch the remake?
No.
Yeah, I can't either.
I'm not big into any of the Disney remakes, so...
Dumbo was fine. It's trippy and stuff. It's just... It never stuck out with me too much. And then the whole part with her rocking him in her trunk outside I just can't. I can't do it.
Too sad.
I'm too sad. The movie's not that important to me for me to watch it again. I did kind of like the clowns, though, in it. They were kind of funny.
I liked the crows, but...
Because you like racism?
No. I just like crows.
Yeah, they were kind of fun. So now Phil Fondacaro is sitting out there teasing the Nabunga, and that's when the fire breather comes out. He's like, stop messing with her. She's got enough problems being teased. And I think he also takes care of her, too, a little bit on the side. I think it's like a duel.
It seems, because he, slips her a banana, eventually.
Yeah.
Not that kind of banana.
No, not that kind of banana.
She really does like him, though.
Yes. As a gorilla, apparently. Yeah. She's got a little crush. And then that's when you see that Connie and the fire eater dude are making eyes at each other. And, I mean, even the Siamese twins are like, mm-hmm. You know, they see it there's definitely something going on between them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, something that it's always down to jealousy in a lot of these episodes, or adultery or whatever. So yeah, Zambini comes out and he's like, you know what, we're better than these people. And then she's trying to be defiant. She's like, I want to stay. And he's like, come with me. It's time for dinner. And I'm like, oh.
Anytime he says anything about food, you have to think back to that scene.
Dirty underwear. That was rich, Connie. They really shut up that rube.
It weren't me. It was Zambini.
Yeah, right. Come on, Connie. We didn't pay no dime to see your act. Why are you always pretending Zambini's for real?
'Cause he is.
Right. She must think we're a bunch of rubes, too.
That's because you are a bunch of rubes. Let's go, Connie. We have better things to do than waste our time talking to these lowlifes.
That girl is pretty cool, though, because she's in a little tutu or something back there. She's got her own little, shiny little Tina Turner dress on in there.
I want to know how they got that on her.
She put it on herself. She likes it. She's pretty.
I mean, she does have the hair.
She got nice hair. And then now it cuts back to Connie in the trailer, and she's looking out the dirty window of their little caboose or whatever they live in. And again, Zambini is dirty and fell asleep with his plate of food. That's all he cares
on top
about.
Of his chest.
Yeah, it's just getting drunk and eating food that he makes in his little tiny place. And so now Connie sneaks out to go to the fire breather guy who's hanging out with Nabunga. And they're flirting, and he's like, you looked real pretty tonight and things like that. And so fire eater guy comes over there and he's like, hey, I've had it with this place. I got a cousin who lives in St. Louis. Hey.
Always playing with fire.
Well, one way or another. I meant to tell you before how pretty you look tonight. Just didn't get the chance.
That's sweet of you.
No, that's the truth.
Bet you're sweet now that I'm pretty.
Both. I'm getting out of here, Connie. I've about had it with this sideshow. I got a cousin, he lives in St. Louis. He works for the government. He says there's jobs. Probably one for you, too, if you're interested.
For me?
I got a feeling you don't want to be here either. I was going to ask you if you wanted to come away with me.
And of course, like you were saying, they really don't believe that he's got power over her. So she's like, I can't leave. And the guy's like, why not? Like, he doesn't realize this control that he has over her. He doesn't believe her.
Yeah, and I didn't realize up until this point that they were married because they talk about her husband.
And so now there's like a shadow silhouette of them kissing, Connie and the fire dude, and Nabunga's looking at it, and she's... Johnny. There we go. His name's Johnny.
Of course it's Johnny.
Johnny and Connie are kissing, and Nabunga's freaking out a little bit. Like, she doesn't like it. She's uncomfortable.
But you can also hear, in the very soft way that Connie is projecting her thoughts. Oh, Johnny. Oh, Johnny.
I love you. Believe together. You and I. Together.
Is that Connie or is that Nabunga?
They sound a lot alike.
Yeah. I guess it's Connie. It would make more sense.
It would be Connie.
So Connie's having these thoughts, and of course it wakes up Zambini, who's like, what? I thought I heard my wife having a good time. And so he wakes up and he's like, what is happening? And they're not being super secretive. Like,
yeah, they're in the center ring.
Yeah, like on in one of the rings in the main tent, and she's basically like getting ready to mount him. I mean, they still have their clothes on or whatever.
Right.
He's so angry, Zambini. He's thinking about her and stuff, and so her head starts hurting because she's like, oh no, he's awake. Yeah. He knows what's happening. I gotta go. And so she takes off running, and then she's like trying to calm herself down before she gets back to the thing. And they're really not that far. Their trailer's right there. The tent's right over there.
You could throw a stone.
Yeah. And she's mad. She's like, I'm sick of this. And so they're fighting, and he's like, I could hear your thoughts. And so that was the whole thing he's wanted this whole time, is to hear her thoughts. He's like real creepy.
Which, he grabs her and brings her to his side, gripping her very tightly, saying he's going, you're hurting me.
Yeah.
But they also spoke about earlier because he had another assistant, and he hurt her badly enough that she could not do the act anymore.
Like maybe like mentally, or like
Connie thinks that he killed her, which is why he wears the face paint, because he's on the run from the cops.
See, I think it has something to do with that too, but I think later in the episode here they mention gin blossoms, and I looked it up. When you have alcoholism, you have these marks on your face, and they're called gin blossoms. And so I thought maybe some of it too, besides hiding from the cops, was to hide the cover, the fact that he's an alcoholic.
Why do you think he wears that makeup all the time?
A fat face full of gin blossoms? I'd wear makeup too.
I'm being serious. One night on our honeymoon, he got drunk and told me how he beat up his last assistant. Put her on ice is what I'm thinking.
Oh, charming story to tell your blushing bride.
But then it makes sense to me. He's stuck in the cops, so he wears that Zambini makeup as a disguise. Then a while ago, he cracked and started wearing it all the time.
He's cracked, all right.
I just don't want him to hurt you.
For some reason here, they decided to show the Siamese twins showering, in case that was your kink.
Yeah.
And you wonder what that looked like. And it's interesting, because you got the middle breast is connected. They're connected by the breast. And the two twins are, for some reason, real into bathing themselves. It's almost like it doesn't need to be here. I don't understand.
No. But, then you've got...
Phil Fondacaro?
Yeah, just pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's taking a peek. But no, it is interesting in the sense of, did you ever wonder what Siamese twins looked like connected the breasts? Fine. But it just doesn't need to be as erotic as they're trying to make it, really. No one bathes like that. And then, Phil comes out, he's got goggles on, so he can see without getting his eyes wet. And they look down, and, his name's Emmett. Oh, so it was a bet.
I just won me a bet.
Rat bastard!
They do like to do like some body horror stuff, and they've done that before in like other episodes, like My Brother's Keeper, where they were connected at the hip by like this really gross mass thing, or ventriloquist dummy with the little puppet guy on his hand.
Oh.
They like to do different things like that. So maybe someone was just like, I have this chest. Why don't we throw the Siamese twins in there? You know?
Yeah.
And so now, I guess it's the next night, maybe. And so everyone's just hanging out.
I'm assuming Connie was getting ready to take a shower as soon as the twins were done.
Yeah. So yeah, she's all ready. And then Johnny comes over and he can see that she was hit, like Zambini hit her. And he's all like, you know, I can't believe this happened. What are you doing? And she's like, I don't care. I'm not afraid anymore for some reason.
Because she's going to leave with him.
Yeah, but she was worried about him not letting her leave. Why now? Why all of a sudden she's like, you know what? Zambini saved me from my life I had now, and I need another man to save me again. I just got that where she's just kind of like, you know what? I don't know how to do it on my own. I need a man to come do this.
I figure he probably has a distance that he can go to. So, you know, I mean, if she gets far enough away, then I doubt that, you know, he could
like
hurt
he's
her.
like a satellite, like he can only reach a certain distance. Or
I mean,
like
when you're looking at supernatural abilities, there's always just, you know, like a limit.
well, like like when you play with walkie-talkies as a kid, and it's got like the 2-mile range. That's true. I mean, I would hope that they're not completely connected. She might find that out later. She might not know.
Yeah.
But so while they're kissing on the side, they're still not really hiding from too many people. It's
in front of other people.
Yeah. Nabunga is losing her mind in the cage over there. She is not happy.
That is her man. Mm-hmm. She would appreciate Connie to get off.
She's like, get off Johnny. He is mine. That is nasty. Zambini is in his trailer just like chopping some chicken or something to like goo. He's always cooking on this tiny little pan. Eating tiny...
It's cast iron, you can cook everything.
But just eating tiny little meals off his plate on his chest like an otter. Just a little drunk otter.
Otters are significantly cuter than he could ever be.
So cute.
So, I'm just saying.
So now Connie comes back to the trailer and she's done. She's in there. She's like, I don't even care no more. I'm gonna leave, whatever. And then Johnny's over there petting Nabunga, and Nabunga's all sad. But she can't tell him why, because she's a gorilla. And he's saying goodbye to Nabunga. He's like, I'm gonna go. You know, you're a cool gorilla. And she's like, no, God, no. She's like, this is stupid. I want to be a human.
Because she loves him.
Well, and he loves her too, just in a more platonic way. And then it's real creepy. Like, this is something that's creepy to do to someone anyway. So as he's getting ready to say goodbye, he's still in front of Nabunga. And he's like, standing there, Johnny is. And then Zambini comes up and throws a bunch of like kerosene or gasoline or...
I forget what liquid.
Yeah, flammable liquid.
Right.
On him, and then picks up one of the flame swallowing things that's lit up, and he's gonna light Johnny on fire. And Johnny's like already like, oh shit, because it's like you're gonna go up, and he throws it and lights Johnny on fire, and it's a pretty good fire walk. A lot of flame. A lot of the guy who did the stunt did a good job. And poor Nabunga's got to see it, and she's just like so upset.
That's her man.
Yeah.
He is killing him in front of her.
Well, and just her caretaker, and the only guy that maybe even treated her even decently on this circus, and now, even though he was leaving, he's dead, you know, and then everyone's freaking out there. They're back in the trailer, and Connie's like, what happened? And he's like, oh, nothing, I don't know what happened, what?
Oh, you know those people, always making a fuss.
She's like, what did you do? I can't believe this. Do I smell kerosene? Like, she's like, I can't handle it. So she throws on the only dress she has that she keeps wearing in this episode, and she comes back out, and there's Johnny just burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
Like, all curled up and burnt really bad, and Connie's horrified. And then, no one saw what happened besides the gorilla. So everyone else is like, well, he's a fire eater, it happens.
Yeah.
It's like...
accidents happen.
But to go up like that, come on. Like...
That means you would have to be doused.
Yeah, I mean, you can be a fire eater. You would maybe singe the hair off your arms or something, or get like a 2nd-degree burn or something, but you're not...
Or like down your...
throat, yeah.
down your throat.
Because, I know, like, with some of them, like, when you do that, like, the taste of it, you still gotta watch in your throat and stuff, and so...
Johnny! Oh, Johnny! Zambini killed him.
It was an accident, honey. Johnny was a fire eater. It happens.
No. I know Zambini killed him. Zambini did this to him.
Real quick, have we seen Doug Jones yet?
He was the contortionist. I thought he was in the opening somewhere.
All right, we'll have to jump back and take a look. Here, we'll finish this up here. So she's mad. She's like, Zambini did this. Everyone's trying to snuff out the burnt smokeness of Johnny. And Zambini's just in there, like, cooking again. Like, half of their trailer is the kitchen. Like, that's just how important it is. And she's packing her bag. She's like, go to hell. I'm getting out of here. I don't even want to be with you anymore. I know what you did. And he starts messing with her head again. And so she's, like, crying and grabbing her head. Like, I think basically she just found a way to, like, shut out his voice. Like, she's just not even trying to be open to it anymore. She doesn't care. And he's drinking because he's an alcoholic. And so now he's, like, super drunk. He drank a bunch of brandy, hanging out in his trailer. Connie left him.
And he's still trying to reach her with his mind.
Yeah. I mean, he plays the role well. It's just creepy.
He does it very well.
But he's all like, oh, Zambini forgives you. Like, he speaks about himself in, like, the is it first person?
Third person.
Damn. Yeah. He speaks about himself in the third person.
And calls her pet.
Yes.
It's so old style.
He reaches her. He's like, oh, I can hear you. Zambini forgives you. I'm coming for you. His makeup's really melted off of his face now. And there's someone on the roof of the trailer now and comes falling through the window. And who is it?
It's Nabunga!
Nabunga! So this gorilla got so upset, somehow she got out of her cage. I think she bent the bars. That's the power of love. Don't mess with gorillas in love. She broke the bars of her cage and got out, climbed up the trailer, came down through the window in her dress and her Tina Turner outfit, hair and things, and came down.
For some reason, she is able to speak with her mind.
Yes.
Like, you think he would have been able to hear her before then.
See, that's the thing is, so I think the whole time when he thinks he can hear Connie, it's not Connie, it's Nabunga the whole time. I don't think Connie ever could speak back to him. I think...
That's true, because the only times that he could hear her is when she was near Nabunga.
Yeah, and Nabunga was seeing everything.
Could still be thinking
and there was enough
about
emotion for her to transport her thoughts. So I think it's...
I didn't even think about
that.
Yeah,
I think the whole time it's been... He thought he had a power over Connie, but it's actually been... He's been more mind-connected with the gorilla. And he thought that he could read of hers that he thought was Connie was just hers because they had the same feelings for Johnny.
Right, and they were both together with him at the same time.
Yes. So she comes down and she's still talking, telepathically. And she's like, this is for Johnny. Like, she's going to take him out. And she starts roaring and he's like, wait, what? Whoa, it was you? And so now she's like, I want to taste your mind. Yeah. And she grabs the cleaver, the meat cleaver, and she comes at him in her little dress and takes him out. So they cut from it as she's jumping down. It was kind of a cool scene, her coming down through the ceiling. And so then the Siamese twins are running towards Emmett, and they're like, oh my gosh, something happened. And then that's when they see they're back at Nabunga's cage, and the cage you can see now has been open, and there's just a topless chick hanging out. Everyone's cool. Topless chick. The big guy's picking up the little guy so he can look. Everyone's a family. They're like, what's happening? And you don't know yet because they're showing it from the outside in. So then they shoot inside and you see Nabunga sitting there and she is tasting his mind. Mm-hmm. She's sitting there eating the brains out of the head of Zambini.
Ugh. I mean, they do a good job of it. It's just so gross. It is gross.
Like, she's just like it's a bag of popcorn.
Yeah.
She's just like, ah.
So gross.
And so I also looked up too, because I was like, Nabunga's kind of an interesting name. So I looked it up, and actually it's a 1943 black and white action movie where a treasure hunter finds a now-grown passenger's daughter who has a gorilla protector. Oh. So I think they took it similar from something like that.
It's a nice reference.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm going to go back and see if I can't find Doug Jones real quick. I just want to see.
You would think it would be something more these days, because that just looked like slime in the background. Kids love slime. I don't get it.
I wasn't even that big of a fan of it when I was a kid. Okay, so we're going to take a look here. So here's the opening scene with all the people in the freak show and the circus. Let's see. See if we can spot the contortionist.
Was it him?
No, that didn't look like him.
See, I didn't think so, but...
So how do you know he was in here?
Because he was on the IMDb page.
The problem is a lot of these people have makeup and things on, too. Bearded lady. Would help if the credits wasn't over everything. Dude hanging out in the staircase. Yeah, I don't know where he's at. It must have been a really small role.
Yeah, like, I don't think he actually had, like, any speaking part, because I had to scroll over. Doesn't matter. He's gone on to bigger, better things.
Yes. So many bigger, better things. So then it cuts back to the Crypt Keeper. He's still pulling teeth. He's still a dentist, throwing out all those puns. Crypt Keeper, you're so punny. And the best Crypt Keeper pun is...
Frankly, your hack-sprays look terrible. You've got to pay closer attention to your oral hygiene, or you'll end up looking like me. I want you to brush after every meal, floss and gargoyle twice a day. Yes, looks like I'll have to drill. This won't hurt me a bit.
Oh man, that guy's got some blood on him now. Who holds the jaw like that? No, he's got like actual like tools.
Yeah, he had a tooth in it when it cut to him the first.
Oh, he pulled his tongue out. That's gross. It's so jiggly. So he has a good time just hurting that dude or whatever. So that's the end of the episode. Season 5, Episode 4, Food for Thought. There's no IMDb trivia for this one. The next episode is Season 5, Episode 5, People Who Live in Brass Hearses. Cheresa, thank you so much for being on here today.
I'm glad to be here.
Did you enjoy this episode?
Enjoy is a questionable emotion for that. Very cringy. I do appreciate that it could make me cringe because normally things can't. It's just awkward. I don't like awkward.
I do like the twist of the gorilla a little bit. I like that it was actually, like, I'm pretty sure that that's who he was talking to the whole time. But he thought, I mean, I hope Connie got away to do whatever.
I mean, he didn't go follow her. So, I mean, well, he didn't do anything to her.
I just hope she realizes she doesn't need a man. She can just be who she is and finally do what she wants to do.
Maybe she'll eventually find out that he's not, following her or...
Yeah, I hope she wouldn't, like, spend the rest of her time worrying and everything. Maybe somehow Nabunga can send a message to her and be like, I took care of it. That's all she hears. She doesn't know who it's from. Just she's hanging out one day at the store and then she just hears, I took care of it. And you're like, what? I feel better all of a sudden.
I'd like to think that maybe it would have made some little bit of news.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And she would have seen it. I
mean, I feel like
40s newspapers.
I mean, carnivals might cover it up. You watch it on,
Well, I mean, if they want to keep the gorilla, because they probably would have put her down if the police would.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? She's her cage is broken and she's literally eating one of the I mean, what do? You can't be like, oh, let's get back in your cage.
Yeah.
Like, even though the guy you loved is dead, and then now you have taste human brains, and maybe she gained his knowledge and now she's telepathic to like everybody. Like she can
control them.
She can control them now. It's her That's circus terrifying. Now. It's the Nabunga circus. Anywho, thank you all so much for downloading and listening to this episode. If you'd like to send an email with questions or comments, you can email me at goodeveningpod@gmail.com. There's also a Facebook page you can follow and a Twitter page you can follow. That's @GEK Podcast or @GEK Podcast. I also love 5-star reviews. If you feel like you want to give me one, which is great, you can leave one on, I think, Podcast Republic, on Apple Podcasts, Facebook. Thank you so much. You can find the podcast pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. And yeah, have a good one. Say bye, Cheresa.
Bye.
I just had quite a scare. I actually thought my heart